back. We got another episode of Ben 10. This is
what?
our podcast where we rewatch the show.
Fanny.
I don't know what that is.
You ever seen Central Intelligence?
No.
With Dwayne Johnson
I
and
have
Kevin
seen
Hart?
that. It was awful.
He goes, what?
Dude,
Fanny.
the only thing I remember about that is that he's super fat in the beginning.
Yeah, and he's like singing, and the CGI is so bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, They Lurk Below is our episode today. My name is Hopper.
My name is. It just every time I hear it, I have to say it.
What's your name, friend?
Oh, I'm Steven.
Okay. Yeah, good episode. It's one of those episodes that we talk about where it's like kind of the low point of the season.
Yeah.
It's some pretty high highs with Kevin Levin.
It's like right after you come back from Christmas vacation.
Yeah, it's that kind of a vibe.
Like
where
a couple
it's
weeks in January where nothing really feels real.
We know we're about to,
we're about to get the good stuff, but it's like, you got to wait a little bit.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to that groundhog for making it spring. I'm gonna ground on his hog, if you know what I mean.
Okay. That's illegal and just horrifying to picture, but you know what?
The pun was there. I had to go for it. Ground on his hog. Come on, man. That's pretty funny.
You'd kill him. How big is a groundhog?
About that big. It's probably smaller than that. It's about like that big. This is a very underwater adventure. Episodes like this, like this episode and the Kraken episode, I always think they wrote this with Ripjaws in mind. They're like, we don't have a lot of stuff for Ripjaws to really do in the series proper on a road trip. So like, if there's there's like a pier he could jump off of, or like, a lake, or
there's a fire hose that's available
for him to sprinkle on himself a little bit. Or if there's an underwater mansion. Underwater hotel.
Oh, that's this episode.
That's this episode, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Max meets up with an old friend who is played by Tom Kane.
We love him.
Who also played Ultimos.
And he voiced the narrator guy from Star Wars, The Clone Wars.
Sure did. We got his name's
Sure did.
Donovan Grand Smith. Very old money name.
Yeah.
Old money man.
But he wasn't. He was poor as a kid.
Well, he was poor as a kid, but he grew into his wealth, and I guess him and Max were friends as kids. Yeah. And he even says, like, Max, you should have come in on me with this investment. And then Max was like, yeah, but I started plumbing.
I like plumbing.
Plumbing's better for me.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of hinting at his adventurous past.
His adventurous lady past.
He'd be banging them aliens, though.
He'd be hitting them.
Someone, that guy who's rewatching Ben 10 on Twitter?
Yeah.
He called Grandpa, because he's watching through Alien Force right now. Yeah. And then they finally get to the part where Grandpa Max is in the null void.
Yeah.
He's like, the alien pussy sniffer's back.
Yeah, dude, I saw that. I was like, what? It's like so unhinged, but so on point.
No.
He's like, tell me I'm wrong.
It was like Alien Coochie Gobbler or something. Yeah. If I can find the tweet, I'll throw it up. Yeah. Dude tweets a lot, though.
Yeah, he does.
Anyway, Kath Soucie is the child. She plays a lot of stuff. We recognize her from Rugrats.
Lil and Phil and Bill.
Phil and Lil, I think.
Phil and Lil.
Dill is the little baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's Dill, right?
Yeah, and then Tommy.
They want to go to this underwater thing because Grandpa knows this guy.
Yeah.
So it's like the super kind
of... It's like Grandpa, you know the celebrity type thing.
Yeah.
Let's go see him.
It's one of the... And Grandpa's like, okay, whatever. Like, he's going. And that's a big thing for him. He doesn't... Like, no one really learns the lesson except for this elderly gentleman named Donovan Grant Smith.
Yeah.
He kind of learns the importance of letting your child...
be themselves.
Yeah, be themselves. It's almost like an anime. I got like an idea of that. Like in Pokemon, they'll just meet a random one-off character, and then that character will learn a lesson, and then Ash might get something out of it, or Misty, whoever might get something out of it. But it's not them really learning the lesson or having an arc. It's mainly centered around that one character. And that's just because mangas and anime go for a long time, so they can't be changing every week.
Yeah.
But we can introduce the side character that'll change. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe we get.
I liked Donovan. You can tell... Like Grandpa Max is an imposing figure, and even though he was a plumber for his life, you can tell Donovan wants to impress him. He's like the one guy he can impress, so he brings him, and he was so upset. He was like, you didn't even want to come see this, did you? He's like, no, I didn't really care. No offense, but my grandkids wanted to, so I took them over here. Yeah. And that's going to be a blow to Donovan, because I feel like the whole 30 years is what he says while he's building this empire. He's like, one day, Max will see this. And once it's like trying to make your distant emotionally distant father proud of you, and that's how I feel like he's like, one day Max will see me and he'll witness me essentially.
But anyway, so that's his whole thing. He's like a hotel tyrant, hotel
tycoon.
Tycoon is the perfect word. And so he has this thing built at the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
And he ends up like stealing this energy source from these aliens that are in the core.
For some reason. I don't know why they're still there.
It was a crashed ship, I guess. Max says...
So they're just going to live there?
Yeah, right. Max says something like... I guess they're squid-ish. They're probably
but they're all robot too. It's like an all robot alien. You think maybe they're like the custodians of whatever ship crashed?
Ooh, maybe.
And they're just chilling there trying to just do that.
Well, they're like on high alert because their thing was stolen. So they're like, oh, we got to go get this.
Yeah, like
thing back.
I don't even think they may be the aliens. They may be the ones responsible for taking care of the ship, and so the ship's still down there. So they're like, well, our directive is to protect the ship. So now we crash everything that comes near it and stuff.
Ooh,
good head cannon right there.
Good hand cannon.
That's on Destiny 2. PvP.
You can also make the case that these are kind of like what's the like cyborgs? Like they're kind of like organic mixed with technology.
But we didn't see any organic. Like even when
they're kind of like
we saw
squid
oil when we bit them.
Well, I guess it is oil. I was thinking squid ink or something. Yeah. But maybe it just looks like just happy coincidence. It looks like that.
Unfortunately, this headcanon is stuck with me now, and I will take no further.
No, I'm with it. I'm 100% behind it. Yeah, okay, that's awesome.
So should the viewers.
They have some kind of like energy source that's super cool, and at one point they try to they re-maneuver it.
I don't believe that for a second. Gwen, Ben, and this other guy are
Eddie
10 years old, and they're like, okay, we're just going to reverse the output to be input. Bro, this is an alien piece of technology from God knows where, and you're not even in algebra yet.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I can make the argument that maybe gray matter could do it or Upgrade could do it, but they don't do that.
Yeah, so it's like, how did you kids do that?
Yeah.
Convenient, one would say.
There is a couple funny scenes in this. There's a worker kind of gets something happens in like this vortex.
It was like it was
like a short or something.
It was a power surge,
and then this guy gets sucked down to like a vent or something. He's about to get. He's working on something and he gets sucked down, and then the sharks come and try to get him, which sharks aren't. This plays into the stereotype that like sharks are vicious eating machines.
Well, actually, the thing is, it is because I was actually watching. Des turns on Animal Planet for the animals when we leave,
Yeah.
And I literally saw where it says like, if you're by a shark, they won't mess with you if you look at it and just stare at it and stuff and kind of push it away. But if you start splashing or trying to move or you're moving,
their fight or flight. They're like, "Ooh, that's prey right there."
Exactly. So they look at you exactly as prey. So when that guy fell and he starts flailing and stuff, the sharks were literally like, "Oh, hey, lunch, let's go,"
Okay.
So that's actually valid. I actually saw this like a couple days ago.
And we know that gray matter has, I guess, being a member of the smartest race in the universe, gray matter has knowledge of how their organic systems work or whatever.
I just like to think he was punching the eye to punch the eye.
That is a funny clip. If you'll put it up here, he's just like, do one of those like repeated gifs where it just like shows it a million times in a row.
They're like, oh, free animation. Yeah. Do it once and we'll just dub it over and over.
That's really funny for us because we get to just leave it on loop for a little bit. Really funny scene. Gray matter, I thought, because I was like, oh yeah, he's kind of froggish. Maybe he's kind of can breathe underwater.
No,
he's holding his breath
the whole time.
And he doesn't have very big lung capacity, so it's just like he's hanging out.
Yeah, he's probably the size of one of our lungs.
Anyway, that's a funny scene, but yeah, he's Eddie and the kids, Eddie and Gwen and Ben, they don't really like each other at the start of this, but they kind of evolve to like each other. Like Eddie kind of is a spoiled rich kid. Yeah. He's not really a brat.
I wouldn't say he's spoiled he is spoiled, but I think the reason he's moody and a brat is just because his grandpa doesn't love him. Well, he loves him, but he doesn't get affection, He
also is like very harsh on his grandpa. I don't know if you noticed that. He was very like every time the grandpa would say something, he's like, okay, well, at least, you could spend $1 billion to fix that or something like that.
I think it's because, like you say, like kids emulate what they see. So he's probably seen his father or his grandpa, negotiating deals or dealing with what would be the help of like maybe handmaids or something like that. Sure, you know what I mean? Yeah. So he's just like, oh, this is how everyone's supposed to act.
But it feels like he's mad at his grandpa for having money.
Well, we know he's mad at his grandpa. It's not because of his money. It's because his money gets in the way of their relationship.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. I like that.
Bro, call me therapy. Therapist Steven.
Therapy.
Therapy. Right there.
There be a pee-pee, boy, lads. Overboard, there be a pee-pee. Anyway, so yeah, they kind of Gwen and Ben and Eddie, they end up sort of liking each other as friends, and Eddie actually figures out that Ben has the Omnitrix.
It's so obvious. You should have figured it out from day one because like he turns out of gray matter after that scene and he gets launched, and they go, "Where's Ben?" He's hanging 30 feet in the air off of a submarine. He's like just hanging around. No one's questioning this.
Like, what are you doing, Ben?
Not even the grandpa.
Oh, nothing. hanging around.
Oh my god. That's short content right there.
There you go. You're welcome. No, I really like I like all the transformations in this. We get Ripjaws. Obviously, he takes on the squids, and then he comes back in the sub just like soaking wet. Like Eddie is not supposed to take the sub, and they go out, and then this whole thing. I guess there's another power surge or something, and so like your grandparents are separated from the grandkids. And Max is not worried at all. Max is like, oh yeah, grandkids have a way of rising to the top. He's like, they'll be fine.
Rising to the occasion.
Rising to the occasion. And then they pretty much do that. I mean, there's nothing.
But I told you too, I was like, if Ben don't have the Omnitrix, Grandpa Max is 100 times more stressed than he is right now.
I would be way more confident in Gwen's abilities because she's a black belt and she can, she can't do magic yet, but she's getting there.
Oh, I love too that one. We laughed about it when we saw it, but they're talking with Eddie. And they're like, so what do you do? He's like, I'm a long distance swimmer. And for the next 30 seconds, he's just doing this.
And then Ben even makes fun of him.
He's like, Ben's like, I haven't showered in 5 days. How about that one, buddy?
He's like, hey, how about I killed the guy who's going to ruin the universe? How about that, buddy?
Yeah. Not yet.
Vilgax is who I was talking. Well, he didn't kill him.
Yeah.
He thinks he kills him.
Which is kind of deep.
It is kind of deep.
You don't think he needs like therapy for that or something?
Well, again, the Ink Tank, shout out to them. They, Kuro, the guy who does most of the breakdowns, he has this big theory that like Ben doesn't have a problem with killing people.
He's just a sociopath.
No, it's a hero, but like it's like the MCU heroes where it's like, oh yeah, I'll kill somebody if I have to.
Yeah, there's no actual guilt or anything.
Yeah, and then you think about in Alien Force where he's like, Kevin, my best friend, is gone crazy.
Oh my god,
I'll put him down like a mad dog.
I'm like Alien Force and Ultimate Alien's like biggest defender, because I know that it kind of gets a lot of hate nowadays.
Well, Ultimate Alien does for sure, and that's that season.
And like and this is the only thing I can't defend. You've been friends with this guy for how long now? At least a year, from 15 to 16.
This is your cousin's boyfriend at this point too, and like
he's literally sacrificed his own sanity to save the universe.
And you're just like, okay, put him down.
Time to kill him. It's not believable, and it's frustrating to see.
There is a sweet moment in Omniverse because Kevin has to reabsorb some of the watch to get ultimate power to beat a bad guy.
Yeah.
And at this point, he's learned how to control the transformations.
Nice.
So he's like, Ben's like, Kevin, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. And he's just like, oh, okay. Like, it's all good. He's like, oh, I got you there. He like kind of tricks him. He's like, I got you, Tennyson.
The writers are like, we can't do this a third time.
No, we gotta give. And Kevin gets a lot of redemption over the years, but he ends up. I think he has like the best character arc of all time.
Yeah.
Like
it's awesome.
So speaking of character arcs, speaking of arcs like Noah's arcs, speaking of arcs like a boat that doesn't work.
A boat that doesn't work.
Upgrade.
Oh yeah.
Well, we get Stinkfly next as the next transformation.
We didn't even talk about Ripjaws.
Yeah, Ripjaws is cool. I mean, he's he says
you get him in the mermaid tail.
That's true. He gets to do his speed
his
swimming.
transformation is one of the coolest.
It is
that you see in the OG.
I think it's updated because I think the last time we saw him, it was last transformation we saw, he was in like a swimming suit, so it was like his shirt was off and stuff. So they had to go back in and reanimate his shirt being on and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does some cool stuff. He's got the claws. We see the claws slashing at squids.
Slicing and dicing.
He's biting the squids. Obviously, he's got the jaws.
Ripjaws.
We don't get to see him a lot. I don't think he shows up in season 3 at all. So this is one of his last
really.
No, he shows up in the last episode of this season, I think, but he might show up again.
Oh, I think he does because he tries to scare like the people at Niagara Falls. Yeah,
Jinx.
He's wearing a yellow hoodie.
He is. Which is
you
weird.
You can't have me not talk in a podcast episode.
That's the whole thing too. Is like he never his clothing never matters like what he's wearing. But then for some reason in that episode, like every alien has the yellow
hoodie on top of him. Yeah. It's so weird.
It doesn't make sense. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
Oh, I can't wait for that episode.
So Ben's like, it's kind of freaky a little bit because Ben's trying to get back inside because the watch is flashing, and he barely gets in.
Yeah,
back in the sub. I mean,
which we still don't know how he does. Because I love too that they keep Ripjaw's eyes so dead.
Yeah,
because it cuts the commercial break, and he's like trying to open it, and then it zooms in him, and he's just like. But there's like nothing going on. Like, your eyes convey a lot of your emotion.
He's got that dumb fish face.
Yeah, so he's just like, and it's just the funniest thing.
Bubbles come out. It's like a cool, it's like a good reaction shot, but it's funny.
So funny.
Anyway, so I think at that point, because Eddie was like, where's your cousin? And he's like, oh, I guess he's using the bathroom. Oh, okay. Wait, we don't have a bathroom in here?
Yeah. So weird.
Ben should have pooped on the floor before he came back in there.
Yeah, to make it believable.
Yeah. He was always soaking wet and out of breath. So it's like,
That one took a lot out of me. This isn't seawater sweat.
Oh, man, nothing worse than a big sweaty
Yeah, you gotta
poop.
get naked when you take a dump, That's one of those.
That's when you're like holding your belly and
he's like, give me your turtleneck, Eddie. I need to wipe this off.
Anyway,
dropping logs down here, dude. Dropping some torpedoes to shoot out.
So then they get back to the base, and then they kind of regroup, and they're on this like weird electric
boogaloo.
They're on this like electric slidey. It's like a Disneyland ride almost. Like you ever seen those where it's like a water ride, but it's on a track still.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fun. Yeah. And the track like breaks and separates, and Max is like, "Oh, how do we stop this?" And then he's like, "Oh, we can't really do that."
Yeah.
So they don't really do that. And
okay.
There's also a weird part too where Eddie radios back to his grandpa, and he's like, "This is when they're still on the sub," and he's like, "Grandpa, there's aliens," and Max is like, "Oh, he's not lying," and they look, and like you see nothing.
You don't see anything. He's just like, "Look," and I'm like,
yeah. You see lights, but like you could have seen some aliens. Or you could have seen them like crawling up on their thing. Anyway, so we get Stinkfly because he's trying to rescue him from the water.
Mm-hmm.
We've established this in the past. This was in the Kraken episode too, I think. Kraken. You can't get his wings wet.
Yeah,
that's like his big fatal flaw.
Yeah.
So he's out of pocket. And they start climbing the vents, and then
he's just he goes, "Oh, I can't swim." Falls. Like he's sitting in the water for a good 5 to 10 seconds. He goes, "My wings are wet. I can't fly." And he goes, "Oh, I can't swim either." Just falls, dude.
Yeah, he must be very light to be able to fly.
Yeah.
So he probably just sinks like a rock.
It also cracks me up. I get it; it's like an animation thing, but like after they pull him back up and they're all just sitting there talking, there's no motion as they're like treading water to stay floating. Yeah. They're just all motionless, talking to each other. I'm like, you could animate them a little to make it look like they're swimming to stay up on the surface. You know what I mean?
Here I go talking about One Piece again. Sanji, the chef, is very like lady crazy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's like a super horn dog.
Oh, like Brock.
He's sort of like Brock or like Kakashi.
Jiraiya.
Jiraiya.
Yeah.
Didn't Kakashi look at like Lady Mags or something?
Yeah, he reads like softcore lady. Like what is it? Like the lustful like what are they called? There's like the name for them.
I think softcore is probably.
Oh, there's a word for it. Anyway, he reads those. Yeah, I forgot about that.
The purple-headed kid from My Hero.
Oh God, he's just so. I want to punch him in the face.
Nobody likes him.
Like he's got Gilbert vibes hard.
No one likes that kid, but everyone loves Sanji, even though he is a big perv.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a lady who's like on a different pirate crew, but she like is drowning in the water, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta save her!" And he jumps down and he grabs her, and he's staying perfectly still. And then like this goofy music kicks in. You go like below the water, and he's just like kicking the most furiously as possible. So Stinkfly doesn't do much. He kind of they get in the vents, and then I think the vents are too heavy, so they break and all that. And then I'm pretty sure at that point they're like stuck, and trying to figure out about the energy source.
Yeah.
And that's when they decide to explode it and everything. And then Upgrade gets on the ship. It doesn't run, and he makes it float back up to the surface. Anyway, that's about all I got to talk about.
Yeah, the grandpa learns afterwards, after they get back up there from the submarine. He's like, "How'd you do that?" And Grandpa Mike's like, "I told you, grandkids have a way of rising to your expectations or whatever."
And he says he's been calling him Edward the whole show, and he finds Grandpa, it's Eddie.
Yeah.
And so
he's like, "Oh, I love you." I would have been like, "Nope, that's why I draw the line. Your name is Edward.
You're a thief and a liar, and you'll spend an eternity on this ship." He also says he's like, "I'm going to build a hotel on the moon, and y'all are going to be the first people there." And then they're like, no.
No. You should have been like, "Room service." I would have went.
Yeah.
Sucks they didn't have a lot.
What was that reaction on my part?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an agreement. I fuck with it. But I'm upset they didn't have any like feast, some seafood feast down there, I love, bro, I'm telling you, nothing looks better animated. Well, some things may look better animated.
I think
nothing looks better animated than animated food.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It looks so much tastier than real food.
What were you gonna say? Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. We'll just move on from it.
We had mentioned Bruce Timm before we started recording.
Yeah. Maybe,
Maybe not.
But yeah, dude, I'm telling you, animated food. Oh, seeing him eat into a lobster or something.
There's that episode. It's the beginning of this season where Phil has room service and Ben's just picking out on like shrimp or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Dude, looks good.
I'm telling you, dude.
He's eating that spaghetti in the Camp Fear episode.
I'm telling you,
that looked good
too. You've never watched it, but The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Or no, I'm sorry, The Sword and the Stone.
Oh,
the old Disney movie. The guy, like the main guy, his like older cousin, Ward or something like that. He was eating chicken off a chicken bone, and he looks like annoying, ugly, gross eating it, but the chicken itself looks delicious, dude.
I've went on record saying this 100 million times, but the food in Lion King, like the bugs that Simba eats, look delicious.
The little zebra meat that he gives the hyenas, they're peeling the skin off. I'm like, give me some of that.
It's the bugs look like gummy worms or something.
Yes,
I'm like,
dude.
ooh, slimy and satisfying.
Yeah, they eat it. It looks to me like it's like meaty. You know what I mean? Like succulent meat.
Yeah. Also, the bugs from Emperor's New Groove, where they crack them open.
Dude, it looks so good.
I just want to eat bugs, I guess.
I know. He's like, ugh, and I'm like, nah, bro,
get in there. It looks like pistachio pudding or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
And he drinks it out with a straw.
Oh, it looks so good.
And my spinach puffs. They end up burned, I think.
My puffs. I love that whole scene, dude.
That's a good scene. I think that
Kronk just accidentally becomes the chef for a while.
Yeah, he's just like, okay, got a so-and-so and so-and-so.
And then the lady comes in with like a full list, and she's saying the weirdest things, and he goes,
Got it.
Oh, man, I love that.
That's a good movie. And that movie was like they started that as like a Emperor and the Emperor's New Clothes type movie.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Have you heard the whole development cycle thing?
No.
There's like a weird documentary that Disney censored because they didn't want people knowing how that process was.
Maybe you should do a video essay on it.
I could do it. I think someone else probably has, but
We
I can do it better.
Yeah, you could. We do everything better on this channel.
We're trying to
That's
look
why
at
you
more.
should follow us.
We're trying to look at more video essays since our Wonka video did really well.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching that, by the way.
Thank you. And if you're here from that, thank you for watching this.
Yeah. Thank you in general. Me and you.
Anything else you got to say about Benton?
Benton. No.
Okay, well then we'll see you. Oh, Ghost Freaked Out's the next episode.
Oh, dude, I'm ready for the next
hype.
3 episodes. The animal one is okay. Of the 3,
pretty fun. I remember just because it's got that novelty of them mixing aliens together.
Yeah.
That's sort of what does it for me.
Yeah.
And we get Ripjaws in that one too. He's Ripjaws and Heat Blast.
Yeah, like it's good, but compared to Ghost Freaked and
The Return of
Vilgax,
Kevin and Vilgax. I don't know what
those 2 are bangers.
Those are bangers. Those are probably the best episodes of the season, and that's saying something because
this whole season
bangers
been cooking.
I mean, honestly, like Camp Fear, the Tick, the Phil episode,
a
lot of bangers.
A lot of
even this episode's
bangers.
Pretty good. I always think about
Gwen or the Ben or Gwen
What
10.
If? Yeah,
you've
that's
got
pretty fun.
Both Kevin 11 episodes.
I really like the Grudge Match episode.
Banger.
And the framed episode. Can't put that down.
Yeah.
It's one of Ben's most iconic fights. Is when
Yes.
he's up on top of the Golden Gate Bridge. You're not worth it, Kevin.
You never were.
Oh,
I'm
dude,
telling you, season 2, banger.
rock hard.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's all we've got for you today. Tune in next week. We'll have another episode of Ben 10. Almost done with season 2, guys. We'll have season 3 after.
Thanks for sticking around with this rewatch review.
Yeah.
Breakdown.
How'd you guys like our? We should probably put a link too. How'd you guys like our team up with Dan?
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, go check that out if you haven't. We did a playlist draft.
Yes. Comment question: if you could build a resort somewhere, where would you build it?
Volcano.
Really?
Be cool, right?
Yeah. You could use
Will
the
be hot.
volcano
That's hot.
heat to power the resort.
When did that come out? 2019. That rewinds.
I think it was 2019.
That was bad.
18 or 19.
That was bad.
Yeah, I think that's what sealed the deal on their rewinds.
Yeah, they kind of did like a weird playlist type Spotify rap type thing now.
I've always liked Google's better. It's just a montage of the videos you've seen throughout there's no spin-off. They just show clips of each viral thing.
I think Spotify Wrapped is like perfect because
I love it. They give you that on
you.
YouTube. I don't know if you've noticed that.
It's the last couple of years I think they've been doing that.
Yeah, it looks good.
So
yeah, we'll see you guys next week.